We are back at it again. You already know who I am. I hope you do. It's your boy, Mr. D. Culiante, man. I got my dog, my man's right here, Mr. Hilarious Darius. What's up, sir?
What's going on, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing well in my room, but where are you at today? Because it looks
Oh,
like you didn't got your passport and left the state and left
yes,
left the country. That's what it looks like.
yes. And we
Uh,
will let the audience believe that. Um,
yeah,
I'm off work. I'm off work for the next couple of days, so I'm on a mental vacation. So,
yes,
you know,
yes.
um, with the power of technology, I've been able to take that mental vacation and make it a virtual vacation.
See, I'm
So,
jealous. You
yes,
got more. You have more technology than me, and I'm jealous because it looks like you're having a good time
having a
on a,
great time. We
on a
got
private
palm
island.
trees out here. Yes, palm trees out here, virtual palm trees. We got, you see these clouds back here. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, just look at how beautiful it is back
Yes.
here on this
Yes.
virtual beach. It
Got
is
you a
amazing.
haircut. You looking good, man.
Yes, I mean, I'm feeling good. I'm like
I
I
can
said, I'm off.
tell. Life is really good on your end. Love that you get to take. See, you're always taking the podcast to beyond its heights and glory and stuff like that, taking it to new heights. And you did it again once again. You went from the car to the room to the beach. Fly for you,
Episode
man.
by episode. Everybody, because people would ask, they would be like, "Why is it that you shoot the podcast in your car? What is that
Mm,
about? Are you homeless?" It's like it's
mm.
not that I'm homeless, but
You're
I'm
obviously
always
not
on the go.
homeless because looks like you're doing pretty well than all of us. He got that last dollar in that cup, and now he's on a private island right now. He just needed one more dollar. That work for food sign has got him there. That's what he got him.
Went to the beach. But a lot of people would ask, like, why is it that you're in the car? And I'm like, what it is I'm chasing my dream, and I can go much faster in my car than about.
Really? Yeah.
No, but I just shot in my car because it was convenient for the scheduling. I mean, we would try to do these early morning. I'm always ripping and running. So we had our first guest on the podcast last week. Um, it gets dark early, so I couldn't be in my car. So out of necessity, I had to um, do it at the house.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my room, I've been into like filmmaking for a really long time.
Mm,
So my room, I have like one green screen wall and the other are like blue and stuff like
mm,
that. So on the last podcast episode, it was really bothering me that the screen was just so green. It was like just bothering me. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to flex on them a little bit because I got a degree in this stuff. Let me flex on them a little bit and dust them
mm-hmm.
at the beach. So
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, shoot. Yeah. Maybe I could have some teeth nearby or something. Shoot, all right.
what I
But
will say about you though, I appreciate how you got the Muhammad Ali poster in the back, and you also got like a boxing shirt on. So what's going on
yeah.
today? What you got going
Okay.
on?
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So I don't know if you're aware, but Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. should be fighting this month.
Oh wow.
Um, and that is heavyweights right there. We grew
Mhm.
up watching these guys, man. Well, we was young, but yeah. Let's talk about that right now, man. Who do you think is going to come out a victory in this battle of the gladiators?
I think I like Tyson. Like okay, so I was at the barbershop. Funny story. So I was at the barbershop and people were talking about how Tyson knows a lot of celebrities and stuff, right? So this guy shows us a video of, I believe it was Ocho Cinco. I think Chad Ocho Cinco.
Right.
And he had a friend, and his friend was recording Mike Tyson on the video. And Mike Tyson confronted him, was like, "What you record? What you doing with that camera?" And Chad came out of nowhere, was like, "Hey, Mike, it's okay. He's with me." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." But like the way he could just snap in and snap out of that killer instinct was like, that man looks borderline unstable. But so I think just bringing that energy, I don't know, bro. I think it's gonna be good. Like I said, it would be entertaining to see Tyson. I don't think it's gonna be like any knockouts like that, but
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun to just kind of see them go at it. But don't sleep on Roy Jones.
No, ain't no point
He's
of
pretty
that.
good. I've been watching some highlight clips of him as well, and he's pretty good as well. Who you have?
Um, I think I got who's ever hosting the fight at their house and charging people at the door. They're going to be the winner of this because whoever's having a boxing party that day, I'm willing to pay top dollar to get into that event, okay? Just to see it. So whoever's hosting the party is gonna be the winner. Uh, but
that was a very political answer. That was great. That was a great answer. I
you
did
know what I'm
not.
saying?
I'm over here really
I'm sure
thinking
at this
about boxing.
party he's gonna have like boxing themed stuff. He's gonna have potato skins with like shaped boxing gloves, bacon bits in the middle. It's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot to sell. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably charge like if it was me hosting,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm charging 35 at the door.
So
and
let
you
me
can't
ask-
wear tennis shoes at my house. You gotta come with a pair of slippers. Hey,
So let me
brand
ask
new
you, would you
slippers.
would you include a coronavirus premium on top of the 35?
What do you
Because you
mean by
can't
that?
have
Break that
as
down.
many people. You can't have as
Okay.
many people at
Okay.
a watch party like you could before the virus. So
Okay.
what I've been noticing is businesses have been taxing people who decide to still do business with them.
Yeah.
Like, everything done gone up, and
Yeah.
I'm getting punished for, supporting your business. So would you do the same to the
So
public?
I think I would have. So it'll be 35 to get in, but you know what I'm saying? If you want to take a seat on the couch, you know what I'm saying, with your +1,
That's
I'm probably gonna throw in another 10 on that. You know what I'm saying? Go so $10 on top of that for the seat, first come, first serve. And
that's
then
hilarious.
we're gonna have like a standing area.
How much is that?
So we're gonna charge 5 for the standing. We're gonna charge 5 for the standing.
You gonna turn your living room to a nightclub? Standing room only.
We had
Bottle
everything roped
service.
off with towels. You know what I'm saying? Hang, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be this the towel section of people stand. This the towel section of the sit down area.
Cutting
Oh, it's
stuff off
gonna
with laundry baskets. Yeah, right here. This is the VIP. Yeah, this smell like Downy on this side.
yeah, because the living room's not that big to begin with. So we even gonna have like the patio. You know what I'm saying? You just wanna watch the fight from outside. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna
How
have
much is that gonna
space,
cost?
too. We're not gonna charge for that.
Okay,
It's gonna be
you
nippy.
shouldn't.
So,
You shouldn't. If you got people out on
it's
the patio,
35.
they like.
That's just entry stuff right there. Just you can go straight to the patio and watch it from the patio. But if you want to come inside and breathe this good air and feel this warmth, all right, you gotta pay for some seats.
I feel like you would charge people 35. They would go out on the patio, and then you would rotate your TV to where they couldn't see it from the patio. They'd be like, "What the?"
Yeah, they asking for, the people who pay more is asking. No, I wouldn't do the game like that. I think I'll probably have walkie talkies. So I have like one of my underclassmen homies, kind of doing, how like they like you listen to like an event, like a basketball game, like through the radio. And
Yeah,
like,
play by play.
Play-by-play. I had somebody do a play-by-play with a walkie-talkie. Yeah, we have Mike Tyson just hit him with a right. We got Roy Jones just ducking that. It would be a lot of that going on.
So they paid $35 to listen to something they could have listened to on the radio.
But it's the ambiance though. You're partying with the kid. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be
You got a lot of great energy, so I think that in itself would be worth $35. $35? Look, I'm gonna go there just to give you a hard time and like get people on board for the 35. I'm gonna be in the front. He's charging $35 for what? For what? I'm gonna be up there just causing havoc just because.
Just shaking the room up with
$45 for what? That spot? So this spot costs 35, but that spot costs 45. For what? I'm giving you a hard time.
There's always one guy in there doing that. It's always one person.
That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me. I'll be that one guy.
Okay. But yeah, I'm excited about that, man. So that's the theme for these boxing stuff going on, man.
Got you. So one thing I want to touch on is you've had quite the eventful morning. You care to fill the audience in on?
Oh yeah, this is play by play right here. Yeah. So I was off today, and it's been a long week. You know what I'm saying? I think as a audience member, you can relate to like working and just being exhausted, you know what I'm saying, from just the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday hustle, man. So I was like, I really want to treat myself, man, and do something adventurous. And on top of that, I'm getting close to my birthday too. So I'm trying to fit in little activities that I want to get done before my birthday. You know what I'm saying? So this was just one. So I woke up this morning and I was all like, I'm gonna go on this little hike and go see this bridge that's like a iconic, you know what I'm saying, Austin type of thing you do, you know what I'm saying? But I stay like 35 minutes away from the bridge. So, I was just like, you know what? This is the benefit of just being like a single dude. I got up, I was like, I got responsibilities. I need to do some laundry. I need to like get things in order. I was like, you know what? Bump all that. I'll do that later. I'll do the laundry later. Let me brush my teeth, wash my face, and I'm getting on the road. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what I did. Put on the GPS, put on the playlist, and I headed to this location. And it was funny because so the GPS takes you to the bridge, but it doesn't tell you where to park. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't tell you where to look up at. It's just like, here you go. So like
the bridge is here. Just
park. The bridge is here. Now I don't know what you gotta do once you get there, but I got you there. You know what I'm saying? The ball in your court now. You know what I'm saying?
Figure it out. That's what Google Maps tell you.
Yeah, I'm like, where do I park? Google Maps, figure it out.
Figure it out.
So like on this so there's the bridge, right? But like there's this like underpath, right? So you kind of like take this right, you go down the underpath and you go under the bridge, right? And they have like this like what's the word I'm looking for? Like I can't think of the name, but they have some type of advertisement like activity under the bridge. They have like the body of water, so you can take like a boat ride. You know what I'm saying? So they got that under the bridge. So and they charging people to park in that area if you want to do that activity. So they got a different activity under the bridge.
Look, they sound like they're taking a page from your Tyson plan.
Right.
Really, the way you want to do, you got to park and pay different prices.
Once you have fun looking at the bridge, you can go under the bridge and ride the boat ride
for $35. That's
$35, of course. You're gonna stand there. So I'm like, okay. So I like drive and I go to the window where the lady was like, you know what I'm saying, you can pay for parking. I was like, hey, it's my first time here and I'm trying to see the bridge. She's like, oh, you trying to see the bridge like everybody else? I was like, yeah. And this is what I really appreciate because I'm on the other side of Austin. I'm on the influential side. It's a lot of beautiful homes out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just assuming a lot of bougie people out there. But this particular working lady was from the neighborhood. I could tell she was Caucasian, but she was from the neighborhood. She grew up eating Salisbury steak like myself.
She had a condiment drawer?
She had a condiment drawer, right? She knew about the Arby's sauce. She was down for the culture. I could tell because she smiled. Because when I pulled up, she was like, come on, baby, pull up a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Looked me all in my face and knew exactly what I was trying to get to. So she's like, all you got to do is you got to go up. You got to go back up, make a U-turn, go past the bridge. Once you go past the bridge, make another U-turn. And then there's this dirt area where you just park your car. And then you can go up the trail and then you'll be able to see the bridge. I said, thank you, bless your heart. She said, bless yours. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of blessing of the hearts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of air kisses, air hugs, because it was so much love. You know what I'm saying? You got to be nice that early in the morning. It was really early, by the way.
That's
probably
hilarious.
About like 7 something, 8 something. So that's what I do. And I'm excited at this point. I'm like, I know where I got to go now. So I make that U-turn and I park my car. And it's funny because where I park my car, it obviously says no parking here. Your valuable stuff, it's on its own. Like, you know,
there's that sign that be like, lock your car.
That type of stuff. We're not responsible for anything. So I was like, okay. So I kind of put all my stuff away. And like I get out the car and it's like this little trail and it's literally like rocks and like it's not a lot of dirt. So you got to kind of climb the rocks. And if you're like out there trying to be sexy, you know what I'm saying, have some nice shoes on, you probably gonna bust your head. It's not really meant to be, because I know it could be a romantic spot, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's the viewpoint of the city. But like you gotta climb up there. So there's a lot of rocks and gravel and stuff like that. So you like, oh, I was like, hold on, man. Let me grab onto this bark. Let me grab this bark real fast. It's almost fell. So I do that, man, and I get up there. And I'm like, you can just see the whole city, man.
Oh, wow.
You can see the Lady Bird Lake. And you can see the bridge. You can see people, you know, on their boat rides, on their own boats, kind of going through the lake. And it was early, and I'm just kind of just like taking it all in, man. And it was, you know, what's funny?
What?
You know what's really funny? When you're on the rock, you're probably gonna meet some of the most nicest people in the world on top of that rock.
Oh yeah, is it a big rock?
It's a pretty big rock. You know,
can you get pushed off of it?
That's why you're gonna meet some of the nicest people, because it's so easy to fall off that mud. That's why I was like, everybody is so nice. They're like, here, take my phone, take a picture, give me your phone. I want to take a picture of you. There's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of love and hugs and all that because I wouldn't want to be up there with any type of issue.
Look, racism is like non-existent at
It's
the top of the
it's
rock.
above racism. Like the amplitude, whatever. Like you're above racism because it was so many like different races of people up there too.
That's
that early in the
hilarious.
morning. But I was like, yeah, people are really nice when your life is on the line because anybody can fall off. Like,
Yeah. And what's funny is if you have a picture of the cliff and the thing on your Instagram, which
yeah.
we might include in the video and stuff like that, for people that want to see how amazing this rock was for Deontay. But here's a question for you. What did you learn about yourself on this
Mm.
excursion this morning?
That my it's a good question, man. I would just say something similar as like my creativity is important to
Mhm.
myself because it really brings me joy. Sometimes you gotta kind of like listen to that tug on the inside. Man, let's really do something creative today. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I just listened to that and kind of just went on that adventure because it was nothing. I didn't really have too much on the agenda today. I mean, I got some school stuff to do, but I was like, I got time for that. So, and I was, it was crazy because I was on the drive there. It was a little doubt because it started kind of raining, and I'm like, man,
It
I
was
don't want to
cloudy
like,
this morning.
yeah. I was like, I don't want to get there, and it's all raining, and I don't know where I'm going, and all this other stuff. But I just kept like saying, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one thing I learned is like, yo, I am adventurous,
Super.
and I don't know, I need to kind of lean on it because it brought me so much joy to like be there and just knowing like, yo, I'm up here early.
Yeah.
I just, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody, I ain't going with nobody, but it's like, this is what I wanted to do personally. And I was able
Mhm.
to do it and just kind of check it off the list.
And
So
what's interesting too about you saying that and using the word creative specifically is just that this idea that people think to be creative, you have to paint, you have to draw, you have to do some type of tangible thing. But for you to use creativity in response to an adventure, that was interesting. Like I
mm,
didn't, I was like, I wouldn't have, but it works. It makes sense because it is an extension of who you are, right? For you to seek out the type of adventures that you go on, and to be as speedy in your action. Because didn't somebody tell you about this like yesterday, like not even 24
yeah,
hours ago?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
to be as quick to make a decision, you know, that's awesome. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you're way more adventurous to me. I saw the picture. I don't do heights. I said, Deontay can have that. He could. Oh man, that looks
We
beautiful. But
can't
I
shoot
let
the
you.
D&D experience podcast
No,
on
no.
top of the
D&D
rock.
experience.
That would
The
be dope.
D&D experience sound stands for down and down off the rock. That's what the
Down
D&D.
off the rock. That was funny. Down off the rock. Well, shoot it down here. A lot of that going on. Come on up. The view is nice. Shoot it down here.
I remember one time. Quick random side note. I used to work for. I have a terrible fear of heights, right? So I used to work for this home improvement. This guy who did a home improvement business. And the first couple of projects I went on with, we were rehabbing like a home, in kind of this rough neighborhood. Another project, we were painting a deck. But the third project he had me on, he was reshingling somebody's garage. And in Chicago, the garages are separate from the actual homes. So he got on the ladder and he was like, "Hey, I need you to," and I didn't tell him I was afraid of heights, right? So he already put me on the job, and he was like, "Hey, I need you to carry these shingles up and put them up on his garage." And I was like, I don't really do heights. I don't really do." He said, "Well, the money ain't down there. Money up here. So if you want to get paid, you better get over that." So I'm over there. I'm like, I don't know how old I was, maybe 13, 14. And I'm
He
super
said the
small.
money's
He
up
said the
here.
money is up here.
Wow.
He was real nice once we got up there because of course you can get pushed off. But
Yeah, everybody's nice on like on like high end stuff. Like I don't know. On rocks and roofs. Everybody's very nice. We need
skyscrapers.
we need to put the most racist people on top of a roof. I'm sure they will
I think they
tell
can
that.
settle out their differences. You
That's
know
what
what?
happened with Jeezy and Gucci. They was on top of Magic City. They was on top. That's why the beef ended because everybody's nice.
You know, your life is on the line. You know, you have a way of like, you know what, you ain't that bad of a person. You know, I
Yeah,
think we can
yeah,
figure this out.
yeah. You go from being this buff guy to this really slim, like, yeah, I can break easily if I fall. I can really break easily, like a twig.
So yeah, he told me that. So that was a lesson that I've kind of always held on to. It's just the money ain't down there, the money's up here, which I feel like can be a metaphor for so many different things in
Yeah.
life. I haven't had the time to break it down. I don't have anything planned in terms of breaking down how that metaphor could be applied to your life, but I will. But but I
That's, I'm gonna have to. I had to use that. Hold on, let me tell you. So, okay, so I like that metaphor. I got another metaphor that somebody told me this week.
all
So
right.
somebody said, Deontay, you like a you like a blister. You always come when
Yeah.
the hard work is done.
Wait, say that again, 'cause that sounded terrible. That sounded terrible and
He
gross.
said, he said, Deontay, you're like a blister because you always come when the hard work is done.
I don't really like that. It sounds
That's
cool.
what I sound like. Where am I? Am I the toe blister? Am I like on the head? You always come when the hard work is done. Comes a blister. I was like, I've never heard that.
He made that corny stuff up. Like, yeah, I bet you he bragged about it too. Yeah, did you
No,
hear what I
it
said with
was
the
a
guy?
young lady too. It was a
Oh,
young
and a young
lady.
lady.
Yeah,
She could keep
man.
that. She could keep that.
But
You're like a
I was like,
blister.
how can I use that? I was trying to practice it, but I didn't want to call nobody a blister. Like, man, you call my manager, you're like a blister. You always come when the issues are happening.
You don't know why you getting fired. Why am I getting fired? I gave you a compliment. What are you talking
He
about?
called me a blister. Like a blister. I
That's
feel about that.
terrible. That's terrible. That's the worst.
Look at what I'm
That's
saying.
terrible. You know what's funny too? When people try to give you like advice, or not even advice, but like when they try to make an observation about you, but it comes off like borderline offensive, like that, you'd be
Yeah,
like, "What the? I see what you were
yeah.
trying to do there, but you kind of missed the mark." So that's
That's
hilarious.
like so like it was so like when I was like early on at the job that I'm
Mm.
at now, I was like accused of being an overthinker. Like you don't have and it was funny because like it was like one person was training me and it was like, yeah, he's overthinker. So it was like they'll just like like the next trainer will ask me a question like you don't have to overthink. They'll tell me you don't have to. First of all, where's overthinking
Where did this label come
tag? Who
from?
tagged me with the overthinking tag? Why'd I get that tag? That's the first thing to say. You don't have to overthink. Listen, it's very black and white. Like I know.
Oh, but bro, I hate that statement. It's very black and white because it's obviously not. If I'm struggling with this, it's obviously not as black as white as you think. Because I get labeled with that overthinking.
Why?
But
Like,
I get it. I am an overthinker,
yeah,
but I feel like it depends on the industry, right?
yeah,
Because if you take that same overthinking trait and apply it somewhere else, you're a genius,
yeah,
right? If you overthink a heart surgery, you're a genius, you're a lifesaver,
yeah,
right? But if it's something that's like you're pushing paper or processing something that's very task, like do, like robotic, they're
yeah,
like, what are you doing? Why are you thinking? Just be a robot. Just do what I say to do. And I'm
yeah.
like,
And it's
I'm a
but
human.
I don't like the label. Just the fact that like how a
Ah,
label can kind of carry on the tongue so easily.
yeah.
Like Deontay's overthinker. And now it's just like on their tongue. Now they just flip it out when they want to hear, when they just want to say my name, Deontay the overthinker. No, what?
It's
I
like the
just got
virus.
here. I'm my overthinker. You know what I'm saying? Just like I think that's if I could challenge any management, if there's an audience member who's in any management role, like don't stop doing that. Stop like hearing like somebody, yeah, let me tell you about Deontay. He's this, he's that, and he's overthinker. That's all I needed to know.
I know
Like
exactly how to deal with
now
that.
now I know what I'm dealing with. Overthinker.
All I'm gonna tell him is just stop it. Stop overthinking. Like, and you know what's funny about that, bro? I feel like it's not that idea that you could just tell
Yeah,
somebody to stop overthinking is
yeah,
so ridiculous. Like this
yeah.
idea that you could be like, stop it. Stop it. Like you are like it's bad behavior. Like this is how this is how I'm wired.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Not,
Fit into this box. Like, nah.
stop it. Stop overthinking and get in this
Oh my
box.
goodness, bro.
I
Yeah,
feel you,
man.
bro. I get hit with that label. I don't know, bro. Like
It just be it's a virus. It's like a like a tic tac on the tongue, bro. They just blah, 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 overthinker. I don't know.
But it's
That's how I
funny.
see it.
Exactly, because, and I agree with you, because it can kind of give you a complex too. Like
Yeah.
you start overthinking the fact that you're an overthinker, as
Yeah.
opposed to like focusing on whatever the task is at hand. And it's not even that. I think what it is people learn differently. So it's
Oh
not that you're
yeah.
an overthinker, it's just
Yeah.
that the way they're trying to teach it to you is not clicking. So being
Yeah.
mindful of that and learning how you learn and being able to communicate that with somebody else is super important, because people tend to train how they learn, and
Yeah.
they don't tend to train how somebody else is like, which is difficult to do, because it's easy to, I'm gonna teach you how it was taught to me. Everybody, we've always done it this way. Why nobody
Why?
nobody ever thought this before me? I'm the first overthinker that you guys came across.
Why? He said
No.
why? 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 I was done
But
this way. I would teach you this way. Put on this white T-shirt with the sticker on it. What?
overthinker. Like, what is this, a
I don't.
scarlet letter? What is this? Why am I
I don't think. I don't. I don't
being
operate
this?
like this. Yeah,
But
man.
no, I
But
think
I
go ahead.
think like I don't know, man. That's like as as we as humans evolve, man. I think we're going to be able to kind of like get past this traditional like one size fit all type of teaching and stuff like that. Because I don't know if I mentioned this on the on like a previous episode, but it's like we're gonna get to the point where you're gonna be like, well, we're gonna be watching like ESPN, and they're gonna be like, oh man, Deontay Ellison had a bad football game. He was quarterback of the of the Dallas Seahawks.
Dallas Seahawks. You don't watch football. the Dallas, the Dallas Seahawks. What? You really made my brain. I overthought what you just said for a second, because I was like, the Dallas Seahawks. That's not a team. I play Madden every day. That's not a team. The Dallas Seahawks. What is that?
I'm making up some stuff,
Oh,
all
I
right?
got you.
That's what I'm doing. So Deontay on the Dallas Seahawks, he had a bad game. He's usually out here scoring a bunch of touchdowns because he's a quarterback. But you know what I'm saying? But but I think they're gonna take into account of the mental mindset. Like, but his dog is had to go to the vet and he had to put the dog down.
They
So
gonna start humanizing the fact that we're all humans and we got shit to go
yeah,
through. So
yes. I'm gonna take
that's
into account,
hilarious.
man. I promise you, man.
But you know what's funny? That reminds me. This weekend I had a great conversation with some people in my life, and they are from a different generation. So they're about we're about 20 years apart. Yeah, at the very least. And we were just talking about some of the generational differences between millennials and whatever their generation's called. I always get the generations confused outside of millennials. And the argument I was making is just that our values are different, right? And the argument they were making is just that we aren't we're entitled, right? And because of the way that we were raised, and this idea that everybody was given an award growing up. So the person goes, you know, I'm not impressed by your hot reader award. Everybody, you should know how to read, right? So like just these awards they hand out in school with these snazzy titles. That's what they were kind of talking about. And they were talking about, now that we're grown and we're going into the workforce, there's like this generational clash between the millennials and how we were brought up with how they were brought up. Now, what's interesting is that so many of them, though, are our parents' age. So what happens is they were under such strict scrutiny growing up that when it came to us, they didn't parent the same way that they were parented. So they're saying that we're softer because of it, right? And now that we're in the workforce, it's like all this conflict is kind of coming out of it. And when I kind of say that to you, what are your thoughts or what are your reactions to that statement and that argument?
Hey man. So that reminds me when I used to work nights. Because I
Mm,
think that's where I worked with much older people, kind of the same generation gap, the 20-year
mm,
generation gap. But like my coworkers back then, man, like especially like my manager, like cool at the beginning, but like their work ethic is like
different.
different.
They
Like
wired different.
yeah, definitely wired different. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to show weakness. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Yeah.
want to show like they I don't know. Like I would take I would take like I remember when I was working nights, I would take like power naps. So we had like hour lunches. So
Mm,
I was like, I'm gonna sleep for like 25 minutes and then I'm
mm,
gonna, you know what I'm saying, get up and get my, you know what I'm saying? Well, where like my manager, he'd be like, man, I don't sleep. sleep when I go home, and even when I go home, I gotta clear the yard out. And, you know what I'm saying? Turn the lights on and turn the lights off and change light bulbs, and then I go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that sounds horrible. You know what I'm saying? But then they be like, no disrespect, and no disrespect, but then they be all like real heavy set. They be all,
Yeah,
you know what
but
I'm
they
saying?
take that energy and they bring it into the workforce, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think when you talk about that idea of you're overthinking, I'm curious to know if somebody from that generation, if they don't understand something, if they ever asked questions, or did they just do what they were told, right? And I think it's
But
the latter.
I think it is that because I mean I think it's more so just the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? If you're
Yeah,
given and that if back in them days, like if you're given a job, it's like okay, I'm about to work this job, then I'm about to get me a wife. I'm gonna start a family.
they got waste management. Is that
Yeah,
where they?
waste management trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to do that versus like us. It's like okay, I want to kind of do this and I want to do that, and I got time to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about the older generation, they start having kids early
Early, bro.
and
19, 20,
establishing that
21.
family
Yeah.
early too. So yeah, so it is more of you know what I'm saying. You got to kind of
Generational
work
thing.
hard. You know what I'm saying? Because and then the opportunities ain't. It's not a lot of opportunities too back in them days. You know what I'm
That's true.
saying? So I think that work ethic comes from the resources and just the lifestyle. Like what was value? You know what I'm saying? Like okay, finish high school. Now it's time to get married, do that, work. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
See, but do you think that that generation, because I guarantee you that's the narrative that they were forced and the lane that they were forced down by their parents because
yeah.
of the generation that they came from. But do you think that that generation is miserable now because of it? Because of the shushing of their own spirit and not pursuing what made
Mm.
them happy, but
I don't want to
rather,
say I don't want to say everybody.
yeah, I mean, I know
But
we're speaking in general terms, but I
but in
think,
general terms, I think yeah, if especially if they wasn't able to pivot and like because I think about some of the people who were in our lives as mentors when we was coming up in college who made pivots like in their later years and did something completely different. You know what I'm
for sure.
saying? Who had those type of like opportunities. So like yeah, I think if they got a chance to kind of do something different later on in their life, then yeah, they're gonna be a little bit more happier. But I think if you don't, you know what I'm saying, you working the same job. Look, so funny story. I was talking to this lady at my job and she was so excited.
Mhm.
And I was so her being excited, I got excited. I'm like, oh, what's going on? It's Friday. You excited? She's like, yeah, it's Friday. And I'm finally today was the last day of my job. And then this is an older lady too. She's like, I've been working at this job for 10 years
Mhm.
and I'm finally leaving this place and doing something completely different. And I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, I'm in college, right? It's an older lady. I'm in college and I got this like assistant professor. She's gonna be working under her professor and like
As their assistant.
yeah, ever as her assistant, but doing something else that she's gonna get paid pretty well to do.
Mhm.
I can't remember the details, but she was like, yeah, but like I've been working at this job as an educator with kids for like 10 years, and I'm tired. I'm tired of it. So,
Yeah.
and she was super excited, and she thanked me for just being excited. Like, thank you just for your personality, just for being excited, because I'm
Wow.
really excited about this. So, I think yeah. So like it kind of goes back to my point. Like yeah, if you can get a chance to kind of pivot and do something else, then I'm sure you're gonna be not as miserable. But yeah, if you doing something for the same, since coming out of high school, whatever, doing the same thing,
Mhm.
yeah, you're gonna be a little a little miserable. Yeah, a lot of miserable.
So this brings up an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Do you believe in pursuing your passion, even if it doesn't make money, for the sake of pursuing it so that you're not unhappy with not
Man,
doing it?
that's a tough question, man. Um I think if you are gonna pursue a passion that doesn't make a lot of money, you better have some hustle to counter that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think you can do your passion, but you still gotta pay your bills. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you can do what you gotta do so you can do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good.
Like that.
That's
That's
better
better
than
than the
blister.
blister thing.
That's
Better than
way
the
better
blister.
than the blister thing.
Like,
Do what you gotta do so you can do what you want to do. You're like a blister, Deontay. You always show up after a great conversation. What? What? Blisters do that?
Blisters do
You
that?
might want to go to a doctor if your blisters are flaring up after you have a great conversation.
That's called herpes. Okay.
Herpes. That's hilarious, bro.
Did she just call me that though? I hope she did.
Well, when she was saying blister, because it's a singular thing, I don't think that's what she meant. But
Okay.
the way I took it and framed it, yeah, it could be herpes. I don't think the way
I hope she's not calling me that. That'd be horrible.
she's like, you're like a herpes. You just come up after all the hard work is done. Like what? Ew.
What hard work are we talking about exactly? You just come right after Valentine's Day. All the hard work.
It's been
Really?
done.
Really?
All the whining and dining. Flare up. No, just
Flare up, there you That's funny.
That's hilarious.
funny.
But I agree with you, man. I think when it comes to passion, and this is actually a dilemma that I'm in, right? And it's not
Mm.
even that your passion doesn't make money, but where you're at on the journey of your passion isn't producing the type of income you would need to fully commit to it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you though. You have to get the pressure of money kind of off your back as best as you can. So if that means working a day job while you hustle at night,
Yeah.
right? And just realizing that it's gonna take time. But your mindset about it, like this stuff takes time and we're still
Yeah.
figuring it out. Nobody knows what they're doing. We're all figuring it out. And I think
Yeah.
that's the interesting thing is that to realize nobody knows what they're doing. Like even the people that you think know what they're doing, they don't know what they're doing. They're still figuring it out and they're on their own journey. So that would be kind of my response to that question um, about chasing passion because my biggest fear is money being the reason I don't pursue what I want to pursue
Mm.
because I feel like there's enough money and there's enough smarts and there's enough people who have done it to be able to do it. But I think this idea that we have to work for survival, but getting stuck in that, never getting out of that survival mode. Every
Yeah.
time you get a raise, your lifestyle's creeping up. You got a better car, you got a better house, you got another kid, you're getting married, whatever the case may be. And then you never get a chance to really realize your passion and your dream.
Yeah,
And
I think that's what that happens to a lot of people though. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? In this day and age, man. Like, and I think you gotta protect it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You gotta protect your dream. You have to make sacrifices in other aspects of your life to, you know what I'm saying, sure that you got a fighting chance to make a dream come true. And I mean, it could be a couple things, man. Whether that's like, okay, I'm gonna cut back on drinking. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? I'm gonna cut back on going out, and you know what I'm saying. Cut back on spending money this way, just to ensure that you can get what you got to get done. Um,
Well, and I think to your point, you used a word in the last segment that you said, but pivot. I think this coronavirus has proven that like better than anything I've ever experienced. Like with me pursuing comedy. Now, granted, I wasn't doing comedy the way I should have been had I been, in that traditional model, but this virus has opened my eyes, to pivot, right? Take my brand and take what I was trying to do, put it online, right? So me talking to this camera, this little is a portal to the world. But
mm,
I'm having to pivot and I'm like, yo, let's figure this part out. Let's see if we can really make this happen. So I definitely think there's ways to do it. And with the technology and once again with the opportunities that our generation has that previous ones didn't. If you wanted to be a comedian in the 90s and you weren't popping, like that's it. I mean, I don't really know how many opportunities you had. But with the power of the internet, with the power of technology, me and you are an hour away from each other right now. Right. But we have a way.
more, more like 16 hours away from you. You on the beach. Gotta
Oh yeah,
gotta
I want
can't
to be.
forget that.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot I was on a mental vacation, right? But with us being over an hour away from each other, through the power of technology, we're still able to meet on a weekly basis and provide value to the masses, which is freaking crazy. Like when you think about it on that level, because this is a platform where we're allowed to overthink, and we could get, we could be called geniuses. You guys are hilarious. You're geniuses. Tell my supervisor that, because my supervisor thinks I'm
Because
an overthinker.
otherwise,
But no, I think
you, you're always on the beach.
I'm always on it mentally. I'm always here. This is where
Yeah. Heck yeah, bro.
but I think that was a great breakout like thought. That was awesome. That was fun. So I do have a question for you, right? So this may be one of the last podcasts you do in your 20s, right? So you're about to embrace on another journey. So my question for you is, let's take it a big chunk of time. Let's do a decade, right? You're about to be 30, dirty 30 here in a couple weeks. But what would you like to see from yourself? Or what would you like your life to look like in the next 10 years?
Oh man, that is a great question. I got 10 summers left, y'all, till I'm 40. 10 summers left till I'm 40.
What are you, a caveman? I got 10 winters. We need to hunt and gather. Hunt and gather? What are you talking about? You're like a blister. You always come up when the hard work is done.
I told you I got 10 winners left. That's funny. Oh, man, bro. I'm just gonna say that what I want to get done. I mean, I'm already doing what I need to be doing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, shoot, man, just continue to do what I'm doing, but along the way, um, man, I mean, that's a tough question, man. It's a really tough question to answer, but I think just continue what I'm doing and continue to grow and not, you know what I'm saying? Listen to myself, know that I'm on the right path, but also like trust myself that I'm gonna make the right decision. Sometimes I'm like, um, when something pops up, I'm like, okay, I want to do that, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But just listen to myself more, listen to my inner voice that kind of guide me through this next decade and do it with style, do it with grace, keep building on my faith, building on my body, spirit, mind, man. Just keep building on that, man. And 'cause I got a lot of experience from my 20s.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just take over to my 30s. A lot of great things I put into practice that is going to really help me out. It's really helping me out right now. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'm not as, uh, you know what I'm saying, quick to when it comes to certain things. Maybe to go on an adventure, I'm quick
Yeah.
to
That's what I'm about to
do
say. You're
something.
very quick when it comes to adventures, but you're
But other
very,
things, I'm very like,
yeah,
okay, I don't want to do
you
that.
think things out.
Yeah, because it's as I get older, man, I'm learning that my parents are getting older too, my sister's getting older too, so I'm having to kind of decisions that I make is more has more weight to it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, I gotta just be more smarter and protect what I got going on, man. So I'm just gonna continue to build on that, man. But stay open minded. You know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying?
sure.
Invite good energy in, but energy that is value and has high value and that can really compliment me. But also make mistakes too, man.
You got to, yeah.
Gotta make mistakes too. And
Don't get nobody pregnant. Those kind of mistakes.
I can't do that. We ain't gonna do that. We
What
ain't
can I
gonna do
say? I made a mistake. It showed up when all the hard work was done. Freaking herpes.
I know, bro. I know. Listen, ain't doing that. Ain't listen. I'm trying to do that the right way.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, make some mistakes, man, and grow from them. I made a lot of mistakes in my 20s too. So I want to continue to make mistakes. That's how I learn. That's how I grow. You know what I'm saying?
So what would you tell your 20-year-old self, just with all the lessons you've gained in these last, 9, 10 years? What 3 things would you tell 20-year-old Deontay?
Ooh, my goodness. I would tell 20-year-old Deontay, man, I would just say understand that things aren't going to go as planned all the time. So be adjustable, but don't be too easily give up on your dreams. Fight for what you want, but it just understand it's gonna take a while, but make those adjustments. So that'd be one thing. Two, I would say, um, don't be afraid to grow your faith. I think in my 20s, um, I did a lot of faith based stuff, you know what I'm saying, to kind of build, but there was still like a lot of like fear of kind of being unrecognizable to my old friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to get too deep into the church or whatever because I may be unrecognizable. I may be too
Interesting.
you know what I'm saying, too
Too
bougie or
far
whatever.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But uh the beautiful thing that I could say from my faith is that I think God wanted me to be me to reach the people I need to reach. You know what I'm saying? So because even through that, I feel like as I got older, I've become even more of myself. And I've grown spiritually, but I haven't necessarily kind of changed like I thought I was going to change. You know what I'm saying? Been able to kind of stay consistently me,
Mhm.
but just grow and just add more things to who I already am. I think that's
Yeah.
what happens when you work on your faith. You just add more tools to kind of navigate out here because when you're young in your 20s, you like for me, I was nervous, you know what I'm saying? Because I went from like being like this really popular dude, being kind of getting what I want out of life in my high school days. But like when you start transitioning to manhood, where there's more responsibilities, there's things you want to get done, you want to get your driver's license, you want to get a car. It's like, dang, man, like it's a lot of work. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And you get all that high school stuff is just irrelevant. So you really got to kind of hustle and but just those godly tools that I just learned along the way has really made me the man I am today, and it kept me out of crazy situations. So definitely, I would just say to my younger self, don't be ashamed of that growth because
Mhm.
that growth, adding them tools to your life, is key. So that's number two, and then number three, I would say, man, um, just I don't know. Maybe just spend a lot more time with my parents. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I kind of did that in my
Yeah.
20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No.
figured that
No, that was good. We
out.
get. Those are two good answers. I
Yeah,
think. Yeah, man. Because I've known you. I think I met you at like 21. I met you
yeah,
at 21. I think so. Um, I've known you for the most part that entire decade you just went through, and I could definitely agree with you. I think the man you are now, all of that stuff you went through in your 20s, it all prepared you for where you're at now in life, right? It's all prepared for you to share what you've learned with the world. And that's the beautiful thing about this podcast and this experience is that, in the first episode we talked about how we have a lot of wisdom, or we just kind of been through a lot. And I think what I was just watching an episode the other day and about the wisdom thing, and I think it's just this idea that overthinking thing that's an issue at your job, when you apply that to some of the things you go through in life, that's called insight, right? So what happens is we gather these insights and then we begin to share them with one another as a way of like, hey, here's a guide. This helped me navigate through this part of my life or this particular thing. And I think that's probably what made our friendship as dope as it is. Because
right.
since I met you, we've both been on that individual journey and just kind of sharing notes, right? You can't cheat in class, but you can cheat outside of class, right? So,
Thanks.
um, I think that that's something that the audience will appreciate. And man, I think this has been a dope episode, right? I think we got 10 episodes in the can. And one thing I'm curious to know for you, episode number 10, what have you learned, particularly with producing this podcast?
Right.
What have you learned 10 episodes in?
Whew, man. I learned about sound. I learned about location. Learned about lighting. Learned about
We
having a
got
mic.
we got to get you on the island next. We got to get
Yeah.
you on the island.
Learned I learned how to kind of pace myself when um when talking. I learned how to kind of let you talk and then kind of let me talk. Uh, really just how to make this the best version it can be. Just learned a lot of things along the way as far as the technical stuff. But I think also um, as far as like living outside of the podcast and people kind of seeing it and stuff like that and want to kind of share it, that's been fun too. So kind of like sharing it, people are like, oh wow, that's interesting. Or people who see it, they're like, yo, all right, I see what you got going on. So and then people are supportive, so that's really cool. um I'll be having conversations with even my pops. He's like, yo man, I gotta binge watch, I gotta catch up on the episodes, you know what I'm saying? So I think
That's
it's
awesome.
been I think this thing has been fun, and I'm excited to see what episode 20 gonna be, because the
All
funny thing
right.
is I feel like we've been growing a lot, even like with the audience, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People like checking us out, they leaving comments on the IG. So we're just gonna continue to grow. And also I'm getting more 'cause I'll be on IG, I'll be following like people from LA, and I'm getting follows back. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
Other people who have podcasts and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I bet, you know what I'm saying? So it just feels really good, man, to kind of be doing this. And I'm excited for episode 20, because we just gonna keep growing. We got
Yeah. So when we started it though, because it's evolved for me, right? But when we started this, what was your particular vision, or yeah, what was your vision for
I
the
was
D&D
like,
experience?
you know what? Darius is gonna be on the island, and I'm gonna be in my room by episode 10. That's what I saw. I saw this on episode 0. You know what I'm saying? When we was talking about doing this, man. Uh no, I mean, to be real, bro, like I felt that we had we've shown what we doing on this podcast, we've shown this in small circles
Yeah.
and made those moments legendary whenever we was at parties together, whenever we was at dinner parties together, like we
Conferences. Yeah.
yeah, the conferences and all type of stuff, man. So this D&D experience has been going on for almost a decade, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So when I kind of when we was talking about doing this, I was like, I kind of saw people gravitating toward this, just how they gravitate toward us in real time.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I knew we was gonna get some good traction.
Yeah, same here, man. I think I've always been fascinated with our friendship and just like you said, how it's somewhat of a magnet. And I think it's the energy and just how much fun we have.
Right.
I did tell the audience this story, but we before the podcast, we be doing like these little pre-production meetings, catching up with each other, blah blah blah. So I was at this local grocery store and I was on the phone with Deontay, and Deontay was telling me a story about something. I don't even remember what the story was about, but I remember I laughed when I came in the store and I couldn't find, I was distracted, so I couldn't find what I was looking for. Walked around the whole store, and as I was checking out, this lady came up to me, very combative actually, but she was like, "You have been laughing around this entire store, and I want in. I want to know what you're laughing at." You know what I mean? So
He's like, I wanted it on the D&D experience.
I say, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
There
You know
we
what I mean?
go, baby. Get down
But
with the get down, man.
but I think I agree with you, man. I think for me, one of the initial things was because I couldn't do stand up the way that I wanted to because of the coronavirus, and I wasn't doing it before the coronavirus anyway, but I saw this as an opportunity to workshop some material with you personally because I think if you it's just the audience of one, like I don't know, you can make me feel like Kevin Hart on a Netflix special or something like that, or Chappelle or something like that. So I
Mm.
knew going into the podcast, I was like, yo, he's a great audience, and I think what I've learned is that this thing is actually bigger than us. Like we don't fully understand the full scope of this thing just yet. But I think as we stay consistent and as we continue to be our authentic selves and just allow people to be a fly on the wall in those
Mm.
conversations, we're going to connect with people and we're going to be able to leverage this platform to do greater good in the world. Which so it's funny that for me, the podcast kind of started off with this kind of selfish ambition, if I'm being honest. And it's evolved in 10 episodes to a bigger, selfless ambition. And I'm like, man, this thing can be bigger than us. You know what I mean? So for me, that's been a major takeaway with shooting 10 episodes of the D&D experience. And we got more to come. Oh, we ain't done. We just getting started. So
Right.
but I want to thank everybody for tuning into this episode. And I really enjoyed this episode, bro. Like I know we come into some of these a little bit more prepared, but I enjoyed how genuine and authentic this was, and I'm sure the audience did too. So we thank y'all for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, and I'm gonna include the links on the video, and also subscribe to the channel. You know, share it with somebody if you got value out of this. Don't be selfish. It's cool to be selfish in the beginning, but you don't watch 7 videos now. Go ahead and share that thing. But we thank y'all for tuning in. Deontay, you got anything for the people?
That man Darius with Hollywood, bro. My man is Hollywood. Um, I love it though. Love this. I, I would just say, once again, thank you for checking us out, and we look forward to seeing y'all very soon. And go recycle. Yes,
You always try to get people to recycle.
recycle, man. Learn how we can save this Earth, Mother Earth. All right. So, peace and love, baby.